on the flanks. We're being joined by one of my favorite people in the world, and he's actually one of those people who know exactly what you're talking about. He is a broadcast journalist who is also a CAF licensed coach. Bunmi Haruna joins us all the way from Abuja tonight. Bunmi, thank you so much for coming through tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And you have done some interesting work, my friend. Recently, you posted something on YouTube. It was a tactical analysis of the Gabonese national team, how they play, how they progress the ball, and how their goals have been coming. First and foremost, let me get your thoughts on what has happened with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They're not particularly prepared. I don't think they're well prepared for this game, but you're a CAF license coach. Your thoughts, is that enough to go into a major match like the qualifiers tomorrow?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I must say I'm a big fan of the show. And tonight has been very interesting, your thoughts on the Super Eagles. Well, for the Super Eagles, are they prepared? Well, I think they are prepared as much as they could in the circumstances they found themselves. And it's just unfortunate that we have to see this kind of situation again. I heard you reminding us of how it happened. Was it back in 1998 before the Denmark game when the players protested and we knew what happened. But we hope it to be a different story this time around.
I see you're hoping. That word, probably the most abused word in Nigerian footballing lexicon, hope. Hoping against adverse conditions. But you did an excellent breakdown of this Gabonese national team. Please tell us, what are the threats that the Super Eagles would likely face on match day tomorrow?
Well, I must say it's an interesting matchup. I mean, the Gabonese team are a very good team. And for the Nigerian side, we possess an attacking threat that even the best in the world would be weary to face. For the Gabonese, their issue is in their defense, and that is where we have our strength. And I think that if we're going to win the game, then the coaches will need to plan on how to explore or exploit their weaknesses. And we just basically have the tools to exploit their weaknesses, and that is it. And for us also, our weakness is our defense. I mean, we've seen the not too good, nonchalant attitude of our goalkeeper in the last few games. And we can equally say that Kevin Bassey, who is one of our prominent defenders, is not, as quick as, you might want to say. And you have him played against Afre Emre Aubameyang, Alavina, and also the boy from the MLS, Bonga. And these guys are quick and very good 1v1. So it's a very interesting matchup that I'm really looking forward to.
Guys, any question for me?
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts about how Eric Chai should, go about tomorrow's game. We have seen a lot of probables, and I want to know your probable for tomorrow's lineup and how does he approach this game. We have seen that the team played, kept a clean sheet without True Sekong. So a lot of people also say that we lack creativity in the middle of the park, and so how do we solve this problem?
First, we'll have to play with what we have. And if people say we lack creativity, it's because of their expectations. We think it has its ways of producing or creating chances. First, if I was in Eric Shell's position, I wouldn't say Captain Efong, in the game on Thursday. Not quick enough, not fast enough, and you'll be up against Emery for Aubameyang. Kevin Bassey can do a good job, but he also will need to be at his best with Aubameyang, Alavina, and Bonga. For me, we need to take a risk with the Brentford boy. I think he's quick, he's fast, but he's not as experienced as Efong. But again, playing Efong in that game is a huge risk. And offense, I think if you look at the analysis I did, despite the Gabonese playing a very close game, yes, there is a very little space in between them. They don't allow opponents to play through them. They rather give you the space on the wings. And, giving the Super Eagles the space on the wing, it's like you are setting yourself up to be killed. Because we saw in the last game, there were several coaches that came in and Victor Osimhen capitalized on that. So if they decide to close the midfield and give us the wing, then they will be playing to our advantage. So it's left for Coach Eric Shell to see these and play players that can give pinpoint crosses to a very precise Victor Osimhen. So if you also look at other matches that have been played by this team, especially against Namibia, they considered some, goals through this particular position. I mean, they close up the midfield. If you are on the other side, they close you up there, giving you little space to really operate. But if you get out of this, they are very tight spread, and you are able to switch play to the other wing. It takes a little time for them to recover, to switch to this other side. So in that little period, you can set up your team in the way to cross, to harm them. So I think they will be playing to our advantage, their style of play. So I'm looking forward to a very good game. For me, the attack with Victor Osimhen, probably Samuel Chukwueze and Moses Simon. I don't know how the coach will play Ademola Lookman. I really don't know yet, but for me, Samuel Chukwueze in the last game was responsible for some of those good crosses that we saw. I think he should play. He should play either in the first half or in the second half. We should have a place in the team.
All right, Bunmi, thank you very much for joining us. You've spoken about what to expect in terms of how the players play from Gabon. When you look at Gabon, they scored 22 goals during the qualifiers and conceded 8, as against 9 goals, as against Nigeria, scored 15 goals and conceded 8 goals. It means that it's a side that can score goals. Now, you've talked about the players that you think can be deputized in each of the positions. Do you really think that, we have this kind of quality when you look at, players not scoring? The first time we scored even more goals was against Benin Republic, which was a do-or-die kind of game. And a situation coming up against Gabon in a game that we barely prepared for in terms of tactics and the timing. Do you see us getting these goals, knowing fully whether it also can go to extra time and penalties?
Well, if you ask me, we have the players that should be able to score goals. And if we manage the game properly, we can score and prevent them from scoring. With Victor Osimhen, we always have a chance of scoring goals. Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, you always have a chance of scoring. However, there's something, I will also want us to take a look at. I don't have issue to answer your question, whether we score or not, we will score. But the question will be, can we keep Gabon from scoring? Because they're very dangerous players. Now, there's a certain player called Penga, who plays, I think he's suspended for this game. I think he's suspended. If he's suspended, then that's good. He plays behind Aubameyang. He's a little bit creative. And then this boy who plays at Galatasaray, Lamina, the box-to-box midfielder, they are a trial, including in Ndong. Ndong is their creative engine. If I was Coach Eric Shell for the game on Thursday, there should always be someone on Ndong. If it doesn't function, the team will not function. So to stop them from scoring, we need to stop their creativity. And then we need to realize, how do they create these chances? First, I talked about how they create through Ndong. They also create from the wings, where you have Bonga and Aladina. These guys are very creative 1v1. They can take on 2, 3, 4, 5 players at the same time and eventually, cut the ball in. So we need to watch out for this. And finally, Aubameyang needs to be man-marked. And I'm not saying man-marking in the sense that one person should follow him throughout the game or something. Anytime Nigeria is not with the ball, any player that is closest to him should pick him up. He does something which is in their way of play. He drops in each time they try to build out from the back, which makes it very difficult for anyone to track him. Because if you put a man on him, once he goes down and you follow him, then you leave a hole behind you. So that's why I'm suggesting that it has to be the person closest to him, so that there won't be any need for anyone to follow him down. But in the end, if anything is going to happen in terms of goals and all the likes of it, it's going to come from Aubameyang. Okay. You need to first cut off those who are Aubameyang.
Okay.
You need to first cut off those who are going to supply him, and again, pay a lot of attention to him, so that even when you can't stop those who are going to supply him, then you can still try to stop him.
Okay.
It is three.
Well, you've been talking about Aubameyang, but it's actually Dennis Bwanga who scored more goals than Aubameyang. Just won by one. He scored 8 goals. Aubameyang scored 7. But either way, it's a tough task for Nigeria tomorrow. Bunmi Haruna, a CAF licensed coach, good friend of the house. Thank you so much for coming through. But before I let you go, very quickly, your prediction for tomorrow's match. I know I'm asking you to be dispassionate. Your thoughts regarding the scoreline, very quickly.
I really don't like predicting, and with what the Super Eagles have done, I'm not confident the Eagles can win.
Okay, well, he's just going for a win. He's not predicting his scoreline, but that's good enough for us. Bunmi Haruna, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Gentlemen, the die is cast.